This lone bagpiper, of course, standing outside the Renaissance Tower in downtown Sacramento. 29 stories tall, but it's where 343 firefighters will climb the stairs 3 times from the basement to the 26th floor, then from the basement to the roof, for a total of 110 stories, equivalent to the climb of the firefighters in New York who tried to save lives in the Twin World Trade Center towers on this date 16 years ago, September 11th, 2001. Now, as they're serenaded with the pipes on the outside, inside, those firefighters treat themselves to some energy drinks, Gatorade, and some donuts and coffee to get them started. They're all ready to don their turnouts, about 50 pounds each, and make that climb. And we're with Cal Fire Captain Mark Chatterton. He's out of the El Dorado unit, just up the hill from us here in Sacramento, and he's going to be one of those making the climb today. Captain, is this your first climb, or have you done this before?
No, I've done this several years.
Okay, so what's the toughest part?
The toughest part is the descent after the 4th rise up all the way up to the top.
Why is the descent the hardest?
Legs are pretty tired at that point and feeling kind of rubbery and stuff, so just coming down is pretty arduous climb.
Making it to the top, not so bad?
It has its moments. Every now and then maybe take a quick 1-minute break or something to get some water and then just keep on going.
Well, I think the question is, how does it put it into perspective when you're talking about what those New York firefighters did 16 years ago today?
Well, for me at least, thinking about what they did, we don't have all of our equipment on us, so we're only getting a fraction of what they had. They had air packs on their backs, and some were carrying hoses, maybe extra bottles and stuff like that, tools to do the job. So it gives us a little perspective of what they've dealt with. In an enclosed environment, heat, humidity, other members of your party are with you, thinking it's just another fire, and they're going to go up there and take care of the job and come home to their families and stuff.
Now, you all are wearing the names of each of you wearing one of the 343 who died from New York Fire Department that day. So you have Fire Captain Vincent Brunton. What do you know about him? What do you know about his story?
Vincent Brunton for me is particularly important. This is another time I get to carry his name up to the top. The reason why it's significant for me is because he's actually the cousin of one of our members in the Amateur El Dorado unit who lost his cousin in 9/11 and stuff. So it's very important for me to carry his name just because of that significant connection of someone that I work alongside, and I get to carry his cousin's name up to the top.
And so it must mean a lot to you to be able to honor him.
It does, because I don't know a lot of members from the FDNY, but since this is my one good connection, albeit a sad one, it's very important for me to carry his name up to the top.
Did his cousin ever tell you how the captain got into becoming a firefighter and joining up with New York?
It's kind of funny. Him and his cousin are the only members in their family pretty much that did not follow the law enforcement side of public service. They are, as he described it, the black sheep of the family because they chose the fire service career instead of a law enforcement career. So it's kind of an interesting story that he talks about and stuff, and so it's kind of comical.
And pretty typical, as you know, I'm sure, of New York families. They carry on the tradition, whether it's firefighting or law enforcement.
Absolutely.
And it's a big turmoil when they break that tradition, isn't it?
You know, I mean, you always see some of the I don't know, the bantering that goes back and forth between law enforcement and fire to begin with, let alone have it in their own family. I think it kind of elevates it a little more and makes for some interesting reunions.
All right, very good. Captain Mark Chatterton, CAL FIRE's Amador El Dorado unit. Thanks, Captain. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good day.
She's in Brooklyn. I was asked by the Sacramento Firefighters to come out and I guess be a speaker for this ceremony, but I wanted to do a little more. I figured if the brothers and sisters here could climb 110 stories to honor us, then I could be a part of them and join along with them.
You're going to do the climb.
Going to do the climb with them.
I got to admit, when I came in, I was looking for someone dressed up in their formal outfit. They said, nope, not him.
This is as formal as it's getting. Like I said.
What does it mean for you to be here and doing this?
It was a little bit of a tough decision to make. For the last 16 years, of course, I've been in New York City. I've never missed. And I just thought, this is a great way to pay honor and to, give the tribute to the men and women that passed away that day, and to honor the brothers and sisters here that are stepping up and, reminding the rest of the world that you don't forget.
As you reflect on that, what memories come to mind?
Just the guys that I worked with, the events that day, and the memories that we had working together and stuff. I'm wearing a friend of mine, Gerard Dewan, who's a fireman in 3 truck, and we had my son's first birthday that weekend prior to 9/11. So just the thoughts of being with him, and I remember trying to actually get him to take off 9/11 so we can hang out and go out. And he told me, he said it's his first day working with Captain Patty Brown. He said it's the only place I want to be. So it's kind of a fate, I guess. So.
And I think that pretty much sums it up. Were you working that day? Or?
I was working that day. I was supposed to be in the company. I was a firefighter in Rescue 2. Myself and another firefighter were detailed out of the company that day to do our scuba refresher. 2 firefighters were hired in our place, and unfortunately both of them passed away. Our entire company was wiped out. All 7 guys that were there that day were killed.
Wow. So
yeah.
Right there. I mean, it could have been you.
We were there. My father was there. My father survived both towers coming down. He's actually speaking today at Dover Air Force Base. So he was there for both towers going down. With all of our command staff. Group ran to the left, group went to the right, and unfortunately the group that went to the left didn't make it. So it's bittersweet for my family. We've got many generations in the New York City Fire Department, but I'm honored to be here today. The brothers and sisters have really done a nice job of taking care of me, and I hope I can do the same for them today.
We're honored to have you here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Captain, how many generations are we talking about?
3 generations. My grandfather was a New York City firefighter, my father, and myself and my 2 brothers. So we've got my father did 46 years, my grandfather did 35, and I'm coming on to 27. So we're doing pretty good. Time on the job.
Wow. So as you think about this day, which of the memories is the hardest for you to still swallow at this point?
It's a tough one. It's it's the fact of losing your friends, never seeing them again, and a lot of the actual day. I have friends that have vivid memories that remember everything, and I'll be quite honest. I think my mind is just blocked out so much stuff. But again, I think it's important to remind people, to never forget, to remember the events that happened, and remember the lessons that a lot of those good guys taught us, and to keep their traditions alive.
How would you say the New York Fire Department has recovered since then?
We're the best of the best. I mean, we are the I brought him along. as long with we have the bands for all the guys from the company.
Hold on, let me see that.
So
what is this?
these are memorial bracelets for the brothers that passed away. So I brought them along for the run today. Picture of Gerard. So
Thank you.
you got it.
Tell me about it, Captain.
Jerry was a great guy. His family was all fire department roots up in Boston. Because of the hiring practices up there, Jerry couldn't get on the Boston Fire Department, so he tried out for New York and he got on a job. He started off his career in Brooklyn in Engine 217 in the Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn. Went up to Squad 41 for a short time up in the Bronx, and then he got his dream spot. He was in Ladder 3 in Manhattan working with Patty Brown, who's probably one of the more legendary officers of our job. And unfortunately, that's where Jerry's career ended. And up to the last minute, he was proud of being an FDNY firefighter. So I'm proud to carry his name today and do the stair climb for us.
How old was he?
Jerry was 35.
Oh my God, too young to go. So now, coming from Boston, did he get a lot of grief about the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry?
We gave him a lot of grief about that, but it's funny, even putting his tag on, Jerry was a very meticulous person. He would iron his jeans, he would, iron his sweatshirts, he would always tuck his sweatshirts in, and as I was putting his name on the coat, it was crooked before, and I said to myself, if I leave this like this, he's going to haunt me the whole entire day, so I had to make sure it was straight. He was a perfectionist. Everything had to be in its perfect place at every time, so I had to straighten his name tag out, make sure he's all good.
Well, let's hope the climb goes perfectly.
It'll go well. It'll go very well.
All right.
All uniformed personnel. Present. Huh.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
Breathe. Cover.
Green Hill. Bam. Right. Quick. Mark.
Please be safe. And now Chief King's going to give a couple words.
Thanks, Captain Gita. I got to start off. Let's give a round of applause for Captain Gita, Metro Fire Logistics, Sacramento Fire Reserves, for putting this event on. Thank you all for coming out this morning. Thank you for bringing your families. That's what this is all about. And we get to share this moment this morning together. 16 years ago, some bad people did some horrible things to this country, and they thought they were going to interrupt what we had here. But every time we get to see the firefighters come here in Sacramento, it's just so symbolic that the fire service will not stand down. Today is about 343 names. I hope you get an opportunity to read about those names. I hope you take the opportunity, when you make it to the roof, to just pause for a moment, realize what they gave up, so that we can be here in their memory. I know your legs are going to burn, your lungs are going to burn, and like Captain Gita said, don't be so prideful if you have to hand off that name. It's not about you today, it's about 343 names to the roof. I want to thank you guys for your commitment spending this morning with us. I want to thank you for your commitment, for bringing your families out here and sharing, and I want to thank you for your commitment to never forget. It's with great honor that I get to introduce Captain from FDNY, Mark Rader.
I got one. If somebody found the name Raymond Meschenheimer, if you found that name, we have the person who's carrying it right there. Okay. Billy, you see that? Okay. Now, Captain Mark Rader.
Thank you very much. Before we start, I'd like to just take a moment of silence for our brother from the San Francisco Fire Department that passed away yesterday. Just take a moment. Thank you. As I've told several gentlemen over the last couple of days that I've been out here, they said, so how does it feel being in Sacramento? When Eric called me up and gave me the invite, I gotta say I was pretty apprehensive about it. 16 years I've been going to New York City Firehouse. I've been there with my family. When I walked in the door today and I saw all of you, I know I made the right choice. So thank you. The climb is about the brothers. It's about the firefighters, the New York City police officers, the Port Authority guys, our soldiers that fight the battle every day, the civilians that gave their lives, and those that are still giving their lives today. We still have brothers and sisters that are succumbing to the effects of that horrible day, so please keep them in your mind. What advice? One of the young guys asked me yesterday, he said, what advice, what lesson could you say you learned from 9/11? And I thought about it, and I said, it's kind of like high school. For the freshmen, for the new guys that are in the fire service, be into the job. Go to work every day like you've been picked by the New York Yankees to play for them. Every day. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have days you hop in that car and you're gonna say, you know what, I screwed up today. There's always tomorrow. Learn from your mistakes. The guys that have that 5 to 15 year period, I'll call you the sophomores and the juniors. You guys know your trade, you're good at what you do. You've got great information that you can pass along. Keep the fire going. Keep educating our young. For the seniors, the guys that are at that end of their career, that are starting at that downward slope, the traditions of the job lie in your hands. If you fail to pass on those traditions, if you fail to stand behind your people, then the job is going to go where the general public thinks it's going to go. We want to keep the fire department alive. We want to keep our traditions alive. You guys are the iron force keeping us held together, so please keep that in mind. I forgot my uniform today. It's in the dry cleaners. I forgot my speech. It was in the pocket of my uniform in the dry cleaners. No, just kidding. When Eric said to me, would you come out, would you be a presenter? I've been a line boss for the last 16 years. A line boss means you go in with your people and you come out with your people. So in order for me to get up those stairs, I'm climbing with each and every one of you. I'm not standing up there in a pretty uniform looking to shake hands. I want to walk with every single one of you. If you've got questions on an individual that you're carrying that I know I took a couple of pictures I sent back already. Ed Garrity, Ronnie Geese, two good friends of mine, guys that broke me in the job. I sent the pictures back to their boys who are FDNY firefighters. They say thank you. Anybody else that if you've got a name, you want to hear a story, I'm going to be here all day. I can tell you many stories over a nice cold beer and maybe a cigar. Good luck to everyone. Again, thank you very much for the opportunity being here. Before we start, what I'd like to read to you is what is read in every New York City firehouse on today. "16 years ago today, members gathered in their firehouses and EMS stations to begin another day of service. 16 years ago today, we lost members of our profession. On September 11th, 2001, the department lost not simply 343 members, but we lost one member 343 times. Today, we come together to remember each of these individuals. We also come as a fire department family to give strength and support to each other. We continue to honor the memory of our 343 fallen members and their contribution to the department, the city, and the United States of America. God bless them all." Have a good run, folks. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here with you today.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fellas, how's those legs feeling after round one?
Excellent.